Hi folks, and welcome back to Fishing with Den. Well, in the last video you saw me testing this Rublino's AF4000 ultra cheap Temu reel down on the local pond there. This cost me £7 in British money, about $14 in Australian money and about $10 in US currency. So pretty cheap. There was also this one, and this one cost me £4.50 or $9 Australian or about $7 US, but it's got this plastic spool, so I really couldn't bring myself to use it. So we'll put that on one side, because what we're going to do today is we're going to take this reel completely apart and have a look what makes it tick. And what we're also going to do is we're going to take this one apart. This is a Nytro NTR Mk2, which is from obviously Nytro, and this cost me £25 in the UK, call it $50 Australian, and somewhere in between that for the US currency. This one may or may not have a bearing in it. It doesn't say on the advertising stuff. This one has 4+1 bearings, which is why it costs £25 at the moment. Right, before I actually start that though, first of all, can I say very many thank yous to all of you who wished me well after my recent surgery. As of tomorrow, I'll have been out for 2 weeks, spent a couple of days in the hospital, and then had complications and had to go back into the ED for another day. So it's put me back a little bit, but hey, it is what it is. As I say, thank you very much indeed for all your concerns and well wishes. And without further ado, let's not dwell on that then. Let's just get on with taking these reels apart. Now, the Rublino's one then. If we start off with the spool, remember on the drag I was calling it vague? Well, I was. I'll put a link up there just now to the previous video, so if you want to look at that first of all, please do so. Right, take the drag cap off. And what I found was that this drag cap was woggling around like that before it actually engaged. And if you put it onto the spool here without the, onto the shaft here without the spool on, you can see that this is wobbling around all over the place. Not very good at all. I'll take that back off again. In terms of the spool itself and the drag, let's take that apart. I did say that I suspected it didn't have any lubrication in it, and I was right. Now, I'm going to take this spring out, so I'm just going to cover this up because I've actually lost them before this way. Bear with me. There we go. They do actually spring out, so just need to be a bit careful about what you're doing there. And then if I tip this upside down, right, there's the base of the spool, and I'll show you on this camera over here, which is a bit more zoomed in. And underneath here, these are the drag washers. So if I put them in order they came, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, for anyone that's actually stripped a reel down before, you're going to realise that there's something missing. And that's another one of these felt washers down here, which should go between this washer and the metal of the base here. Basically what we've got is, I think there might be a smear of grease in there, possibly, but what we've got is metal to metal contact on those items there. So I just go back again, put these back together. Oh, also these felt washers have no lubrication on them whatsoever. And whether you use a real grease, whether it's Shimano or this one I happen to buy from Temu, oil, or a grease, that's probably more for sea fishermen. But for me, I just tend to put a few drops of oil on them. If we put this back in now, you'll see, oops, that way around, that is going to be in contact with the metal down there. And it would help if I'd actually put them back together properly with all of them, wouldn't it? But basically, you see we've got metal to metal all the way around. If I do the same thing with the Nytro reel, this is the NTR Mk2, which is the entry level from Nytro. Take that off. And bear with me a second while I get this out. Oops. Okay. Now, there's a difference here. Watch what happens. Nothing. The reason for that is because I happen to know it's got grease on it. Now, that came with it. I'll explain that in a second. All I'm going to do is just push through the inside there to get the drag washers out. So this time we've got, I'm not going to actually take them apart because they are actually greased, but you can see at the bottom here we've actually got a felt washer, a metal washer, felt washer, da-da-da-da-da. So there are 6 washers instead of 5. So that means that that felt washer goes on there, and these are also greased, as I said. I'll put this back together again shortly, but just move those out of the way for the moment. Right, put that back with that one. Now, also we had an issue, whoops, sorry, I just moved this whiteboard. We had an issue with the bail arm roller here, and what I did, just take a felt tip pen and just put a black mark on it there. There we are. And then when I was down on the riverbank, or on the pond, that wasn't moving. And so I came back and I put a couple of drops of oil in there, and it actually is working fine now. And if I do that, this is a good way to test it. That's actually, I know you can't see it that way because I'm covering it up, but that's actually rolling quite well now. But what we'll do is we'll actually take this apart now and just have a look, see if it's got any kind of bearing in it. Just one screw. Take it apart. And yeah, nothing there. That's just a plastic piece of, well, it's just a piece of plastic basically. And then that goes on there. So it is a kind of a roller, but it's not anything that you'd want to rely on. Certainly not any kind of bearing, is it? Let's put this back in here for the moment. Excuse my clumsiness, I've got arthritis, as you probably already know. But basically, that did actually work. So that's the bail arm sorted out. On the NTR, take this one off. Okay. This one, take it off here. You've got the roller there, and inside the roller, you've got another one. If I just poke that through. Oops. So there we go, there's the 2 parts of it. So we've got a proper roller bearing inside there. Come back to that shortly. Save some time for you. You can see that's going to go back together. Now, the next thing we have to do is to take the rotor off. And to do that, we have to take this metal cog off here. That's what holds the spool on, and there's also a little plastic washer on the top there, which means that it's not sliding metal to metal with the spool there. And that's what I took off on that NTR a moment ago. To get this off, just get a spanner, wrench as the Americans call it. And what you have to do with this one, remember righty-tighty, lefty-loosey? Well, it's the opposite for this. It's a reverse thread. So don't go trying to think that that is tightening up, because it's not. Okay, that's actually letting it off. That's getting dirty. And you can take the rotor off, and that's all there is to it. With the Nytro one, similar sort of idea, but this one actually has a locking nut just down here, or a locking screw. Take that off. And then again, it's the same, again, just the reverse thread. Like that. and then this one comes off also. Now immediately you can see a difference, can't you? This has a shroud on it, which obviously helps. This one doesn't, because it's built to a price. You can actually see a bearing in here. There's obviously one bearing in it anyway. Right in there, there's a bearing. Also, obviously on this one, there's a bearing, but in fact I can see it there, but I'm going to take this cover off while we're here. Oops. Now this, by the look of things, yes, it has a separate little thing to hold it down, and then there's a shroud here. So now we're actually getting to the point where we can see the same sorts of things. This one, it's more obvious that there's a set of ball bearings in there. This one has 4+1 ball bearings, by the way. Okay, let's get into the body of the Rubelino's reel. As I showed you, like a lot of UK-based reels, the Rubelino's one has a shaft to hold it in. And then if we want to take the body apart, have a look at what's inside it, it's normally just 3 or 4 little screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take those out. Now sometimes these are slightly longer in some positions than others, but mostly they do seem to be the same sort of length. So be careful when you're taking them out that you might need to note the positions. And the 4th one. So does that now come off? Will it come off? Yeah, okay. So that's the cover off, and that's the internal workings. Now I'm not going to show that to you just yet. I'm going to take this one apart too. I'm not seeing any bearings on that. Bear with me, this is hurting my thumb. Right, okay. So now with this one, where am I? Oh, this has got a little cap on the back here. This is quite a common thing. Sometimes they actually hide a screw under here as well. If I undo that, and that just comes off. No screw in there. So again, just 4 screws holding the body together. Hope this is being shown on that close-up camera okay. If not, I'll be doing it again. Oops. Nearly there. And stop working. And the last one. Oops. Try not to drop things, guys. Oh, that one's coming off quite easily. Right, now the first thing to notice is that there is a bearing just in here. That goes onto this main gear. And in fact, if we look at the other one, the Rubelino's reel, this doesn't have a bearing as such. This has basically just a nylon bush. And that's what I expected. So if I take this out, see if we can get that out and have a look. Pretty sure it's going to be the same on the other side. There we go. Okay, yeah. So just a nylon bush on the other side too. So pretty basic. It does have some grease inside it. It's not overly packed with grease, so it's not too bad. But the gears are the same sort of metal, by the look of things, as the NTR Mk2. Here's where I get my hands all dirty. Oh, there we go. Yep, another set of bearings inside here. But if you look at this, they're not actually all that dissimilar, are they? This one does feel more chunky. This one is a lot thinner in the gears. I don't know if you can see that, can you? But basically, we've now identified the bearings in this. There's the one in here, that's 2, that's 3, and I think there may be another bearing just inside there. That makes 4, and the roller bearing makes the total of 4 + 1 for 5. Yeah, and it may well be that if the manufacturers of this thing had put another felt washer in there and some grease in it or a bit of oil on it, this might have actually been a much better reel. Still have the issue with the wobbliness in the drag knob here, but you know. So basically, same sort of idea, not a great deal in it, is there? Yeah, they're very similar. This one's got more bits and more bearings, £25 from the UK. But the good news with that one is, if this goes wrong in the first 12 months, you can send it back and you can get a replacement or get it repaired. This one, well, at £7, why would you bother anyway? But this one, what I'm finding is I bought quite a few reels, and I'll come back to that in a second. I bought quite a few reels some months ago, and I've been trying to use them. And then last night I looked up on the internet to just see where we were at with them, and quite a few of them had disappeared. It said sold out. So we're not buying from the manufacturers, we're buying from a company that's just bought in bulk. And so if you wanted to get a replacement for it, well, yeah, you might be able to. I mean, Temu does seem to have a returns policy, but I don't know if I can be bothered for the sake of £7. So for me, I think, as I said in the previous video, if you want a reel to go on holiday with for a couple of weeks, or if you want to give it to a kid that may or may not be interested, well, maybe you could buy one of those. But for me, I definitely go with a sort of a more reputable manufacturer who you can actually get after sales service from. £25, good value for me. This one, as I say, built to a price, and there you go. So next time, because I can't lift anything more than 5 kilos or £10 for another 2 weeks, that'll be a total of a month that I've been off the road. I'm going to have to do another Temu video, and it will be the final one, honestly, guys. This one will be where I bought 18 Temu reels at 4,000 size, everything ranging from this £4.51 up to about £25, which is at the same level as this one. And what we'll do is we'll go through them, and I'll do a bit of explanation, and I'll also give you some tips on how to buy from Temu without making a total mess of it like I did. But more of that in the next video. Hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, as always, give me a click on the like button. If you want to subscribe, even better. But till the next time, bye for now.